ahead.
Hey everyone, it's Tim from Linessa Farm Specialty and Heirloom Livestock. Thanks for joining us again today. As always, you can contact us on our website at www.linessafarms.com. You can also check us out on Facebook and our YouTube channel as well. So today we want to talk about giving injections to livestock. We've been getting lots of questions on our website and through our channel recently asking us how to give injections, and today I want to cover just basic injections. We're going to cover how to give an intramuscular injection. We're not actually going to get into how to give a subcutaneous one, but this should get you kind of spun up on the verbiage that we use when we talk about it. We're going to teach you about syringe size, needle size, and aseptic technique, which is what we use when we're withdrawing medication from the vial. So you need some kind of syringe. We recommend getting a 3 milliliter or larger, depending on the size of the amount of the medication that you're going to need to be using. We tend to buy 18 gauge and 20 gauge needles. You can get larger needles, which would be like a 16 gauge. You can get smaller, which would be like a 21 or a 22, but 18 and 20 gauge are pretty middle of the road, pretty good to go when you're giving injections to animals. If you start to go much smaller than a 20 gauge, what you're going to find is it can get difficult to draw some things up, and it can also get difficult to push it when you're giving injections. If I was going to give an individual injection to an individual animal, 3 cc or 3 milliliter, cc's and milliliters are the same, 3 cc syringe with a 18 or 20 gauge needle would be perfectly fine. So I'm going to move some of the stuff out of the way. This is simply packaging of what I have here. So you can pick up syringes and needles at any local supply store. Tractor Supply has them, Big R, whatever the big box stores that you have in your area. You can also go to your veterinary office and talk to them about getting needles and syringes as well. So the first thing that you need is some kind of latex gloves. If you're allergic to latex, then you can use neoprene or whatever works out best for you. But I always like to wear my gloves. It helps to protect me from chemicals, and it also helps to keep everything clean. So with your alcohol pad, the first thing that you're going to do, open up your alcohol pad, remove it, and you're actually going to clean off the top of your vial. Now, the top of glass vials, this area right here in the middle, this is actually some kind of plastic or rubber, I should say. It's very soft. And so what happens is when the needle goes in and comes out, it reseals itself. But what I want to do is I want to wipe the top of this off, and I want to make sure that it's clean. I'm going to wipe it off with an alcohol prep pad, and I'm going to let it sit while I move on to the next step. You'll notice that I have 2 3 cc syringes here. There is a difference between these two. One of these is a slip lock and one of these is a lure lock. There is a difference. Slip lock means that the needle slides onto the end of it, where the lure lock one, the needle actually screws into it. I highly recommend that you get the screw-on type, the lure lock type, because that way when you inject the animal and pull out, you don't have to worry about the needle actually slipping off. I'm going to open up both of these just so I can show you. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is attach my needles. There's a sticker around here that as I twist, this will break off. And now you can see that the hub of the needle is exposed. The sharp portion of the needle is still in here, and this hub, I don't want to touch it with my fingers, but this hub is now exposed. This is a slip lock. As you can see here, I'm going to take that slip lock and I'm just going to firmly push it in place. You want to keep your fingers away from the end just in case there was some kind of manufacturer's defect. You don't want to stab yourself. And for now, I'm just going to leave it like that. It's securely pushed on, and I can just set it down and we're good to go there. Same thing here with this 18 gauge needle. I'm just going to give it a twist and pull this end off, and now the hub is exposed. Now you'll see the difference here with the lure lock. It actually is threaded, and this is much more secure. I can twist it into place, and now it's locked in, and I don't have to worry about it coming undone. I can set that down as well. So the next thing I have to establish is the amount of medication that I'm going to be injecting into the animal. If in this case, I'm going to be injecting 1 milliliter into the animal, I need to draw up 1 milliliter of air into the syringe. The reason for that is your medication bottles are vacuum sealed, and so what happens is when you stick the needle in and try to withdraw, you need to even out that pressure, and we do that by injecting air into it first. So I've drawn up my 1 milliliter of air, and next thing I'm going to do is just pull this cap off of here. All right, the top is now dry. Straight up and down, take my needle and push it down in until it stops, nice and easy. Now I'm going to push my 1 milliliter of air into the bottle, turn the bottle upside down, and now I'm going to withdraw about 1.5 milliliters. The reason I'm overdrawing is there's an air bubble that forms in the top. I'll give it a little bit of a tap that helps any air that might be in there go up to the top. And now I can push my plunger back until I get right where I need it to be. And now I have a nicely loaded syringe with no air in it whatsoever. I can flip this back this way and I can now withdraw the needle. Now, for those of you that are healthcare professionals, you are gonna cuss me up and down for the next thing that I'm going to tell you, and that's how to recap this needle. In healthcare, we're told never ever to recap a needle because it highly increases your risk for needle sticks. Unfortunately, in livestock care, a lot of times you're actually more dangerous to yourself and others walking around with an uncapped needle than having it capped. So I'm going to teach you now how to recap this needle in the safest method I know possible. And that is you're actually going to scoop the cap up onto the needle. So without touching my towel here, I am going to try as hard as I can not to touch the sides of this cap. It's in there, and I'm just going to scoop it up and jiggle it a little. It's back in place. I can grab it way down here near the hub and push it down, and it's locked. Now I've protected myself from any potential needle sticks. If you should happen to stick yourself with the needle, do not worry. I want you to immediately remove your glove. I want you to squeeze the area that you've stuck yourself until you get some blood, and then I want you to immediately wash your hands with soap and antibacterial soap and warm water. And then just for safety's sake, it's best if you report it to your healthcare provider so they can give you any further directions that might be needed. So anyways, here's our loaded needle and syringe. I'm going to demonstrate this one more time. This is our slip lock. You got to be a little bit more cautious with these when you're pulling them apart because the cap likes to take the needle with it when it goes. And again, in this case, I'm going to draw up 1.5 mLs just to change it up a little bit. I draw up 1.5 mLs. Place my needle in the top until the hub is level. Inject the air, flip it back over, and slowly draw back and fill the syringe up. And I'm going to overdraw. I'm going to overdraw the 2 mLs. Give it a little tap. Get the air out of it. Get the air up to the top. And now I'm going to push. There you go. Until I get 1.5. Right on the money. There we go. Flip it back upside down and remove the needle. Very cautiously, we're going to use the scoop method. I'm going to, without touching the cap with the needle tip, I'm going to scoop, give it a little shake, grabbing it by the sides, push it down, and there we go. So here we have two needles that have 2 needled syringes that are loaded up and ready to go. I'm going to use an apple as a demonstration about how to give the IM injection. The best way to do this, you want to clean the application area with your alcohol. You don't want to blow on it. You don't want to fan it. Blowing on it is ridiculous. You're just blowing the germs in your mouth all over that injection site. Just let the alcohol dry naturally. When you're ready to inject, you withdraw your needle cap. Hold the site firmly with your hand, and you're going to inject firmly with enough pressure to puncture in the desired area at a perpendicular angle. You see here we're at a 90-degree angle. Once you're vested in going, you just go. You don't stick a little and then try to push it in slowly. You just go. The reason for that is you don't want the animal to jump. The animal may jump. You need to be prepared for that. That way you don't accidentally freak out and stick yourself as well. So I'm going to stick. It's down in. I'm going to hold my fingers underneath these wings. That way I'm not pushing into the animal when I'm injecting. And I'm slowly going to inject. There we go. Slowly injecting. And now I can withdraw. Okay. Same scooping method. I'm just going to scoop this up. Clip it, and we're done. Okay. So that is, in a nutshell, how to give an IM injection, how to draw it up, how to properly draw up your material, and how to properly give the injection. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Also, please remember, if you look down right over on this side right here, there's that subscribe button. Please subscribe. It helps us out immensely. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the video. If there's comments or questions that you have, leave them below in the comment section, and we'll do our best to reach out to you and answer any questions that you may have. Thanks a bunch. Have a great one.